How would you like to change your life for the better in about 5 minutes a day? Hi, I'm Dave Ruby, and this video is all about what's called the alpha sequence. Now, the alpha sequence is a technique I learned from John Overdurf, who is a really good trainer. And I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I use it, and I asked John if I could share it in a video, and he said yes. So John, if you watch this, thank you for that. But what the alpha sequence is and I'm going from some notes here, he describes it as a sequence or chain to calm the beta waves and encourage opening what he calls the alpha pipeline. Now, the alpha pipeline basically is a way to allow free flow of information from your conscious mind to your unconscious. And that works because oftentimes all of our brain waves are oscillating and functioning at any given time, but there isn't always enough alpha waves to let the conscious mind talk to your unconscious. So by allowing more alpha waves to kind of operate or to kind of access, or whatever you want to call it, it allows the conscious mind and the unconscious to start to communicate more, and that can allow you to be more resourceful. Now, there are two ways to do this, and the way John taught this in the class was to just do it. It's just what can be a meditative activity for between 5 and 20 minutes to just allow that opening of the alpha wave states and just allow again, your conscious and your unconscious to communicate more freely. What you can also do is, to make it more like a self-hypnotic technique, is you can actually give yourself an intention. And that's kind of like those tubes at the bank where you send the message and assume the person that there and gets it. You just invite your unconscious to allow you to relax more, or to focus more at work or at school, or whatever goals you want in your own life. And again, this can be done for 5 to 20 minutes. 5 minutes is about the shortest time to allow state change to take place. 20 minutes is about that point of diminishing returns where you can keep going longer if it feels good or if you'd like to, but there's really necessarily not any big benefit for doing it longer. And I will include in the details below the video these basic instructions. If you'd like to, you can just kind of follow along now, and as long as you're in a place you can relax fully and your attention's not needed elsewhere, then just kind of follow along. Now, first, you can do this eyes open, and there may be benefits to that, but if you're in a place where you can, just allow your eyes to close. And even just closing the eyes can automatically increase alpha wave state. And in fact, you can just take a moment and just notice what's different already from being cut off from the outside world and just focusing on what's inside. And whether your eyes are open or those eyes are closed, just begin to allow the back of the tongue just to relax. And just feel the weight of the tongue. And allow that tension just to begin to let go. And you can also begin to loosen the jaw. Just let it kind of unhinge and just relax. And you may have already noticed that this can start to quiet that internal chatter and just quieting those thoughts so you can just relax more into that experience. And the next step is just to slow your breathing. And you can find your own rate of speed. You can inhale slightly deeper and just allow a longer exhale to a count of about 6 seconds in, maybe a little longer than 6 seconds out. Again, just allowing that breathing to slow down as slowly and gradually as possible. as the breathing's slowing down, perhaps sinking more into that relaxed state, you can begin to notice awareness around you. You can just have the experience of being aware of whatever you're aware of. Perhaps the sound of my voice in this recording, or perhaps sounds around you in the room. And just taking a moment to notice how easily you can just be aware of any sounds that may be to the left side of the room, or perhaps to the right side. And notice how there's really no defining line between where that body begins and where it ends, and the rest of the room around that body, because it's all about you're aware of your awareness. And just allow your awareness to move as far in front of you as you can be aware of now. Just how far that awareness can spread or grow, or whatever it does to allow you to move that awareness as far out in front of you as you can. And just taking a moment to focus on that awareness, or that point in front. And then from that point, you can begin to allow your awareness to spread from in front of you all the way out to the sides. Being aware of the space on either side and allowing your awareness to grow and extend as far out as is appropriate or as possible now. And then at your own speed, in whatever way is appropriate for you, you can now allow that awareness to move behind you, becoming aware of that space, or any sounds or sensations or whatever you become aware of now, only moving as far back as your awareness can allow for now. And then allowing the awareness to begin to move over that body and just be aware of what's above you, and allowing that awareness to spread as far up as and as high as you would like to go now. And then, of course, you can allow that awareness to go all the way down beneath that body and all the way down into the earth below, or just as far down as that awareness can spread as you're aware of whatever it is that draws your attention down. And then taking all the time you need, you can just take in all of awareness in all directions, noticing what's a part of and apart from that body and from that mind. And to begin to wrap up, you can focus more on rejoining that body and perhaps taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, beginning to stretch perhaps, moving your body in a way where you can reconnect. And then just noticing what you notice that's different now. And perhaps if you had some intention, you can just notice what's different about that thing that you had wanted to change that your unconscious perhaps has already or can continue to work on. And if you didn't set an intention, well, then just be curious what your unconscious was listening to and what it might do with that suggestion on through the day. And perhaps you can be surprised in some positive, fun way when that happens in ways you weren't even aware of or weren't even expecting. So I encourage you to try this, use this. This can be used, again, it can be used daily as a daily meditation or as a kind of a more of a hypnotic thing if you give it some intention. Just play with it and see what happens. And you can set an internal alarm, just basically tell your unconscious that you want to work on some issue for 5 minutes or even longer. It's really up to you. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below, and thanks for your time. Have a great one.